Hey everybody, just picked up this Pearl Reference 14 by 6.5 off a friend. He was selling it because he was upgrading to another snare. And for fun, I have a Pearl brass free-floating snare that I got powder-coated at an auto body shop beside it. We're going to use a few different heads today and find out what the difference is. I'm going to try with moon gel without. Maybe try and keep most of the tensions the same, but we'll see what one sounds the best. First head we're going to try is the Remo Weather King. It's a coated controlled sound head. We have 3 pieces of moon gel on. I will try right after without the moon gel on the Pearl Reference. Alright, that sounds really good. This snare is actually quite loud being 20 ply, so I actually had to turn the gain down on the microphone and try that a second time. Now let's try without the moon gel. It has a bit too much of a ring for me, a little too many overtones. Let's just try with a small piece of moon gel for fun, just to control that a little more. Here is the Evans HD Dry level 360 at a very low tuning on the Pearl Reference. That's quite low, but we'll tune it up a bit here. Tuned up to more of a medium tuning. You'll notice I don't have 3 pieces of moon gel on here because of the vented head. It is quite dry sounding. And lastly, we're at fairly high tuning here. Let's try it out. And lastly, this thing is quite cranked. I prefer this head around the medium tuning. I find just because it's so dry, it starts to sound choked when it gets real tight on this specific drum. Here we have a Evans G1 level 360 head at a very loose tuning. You'll be able to tell because without the vents and the dual ply, this thing will really sing here. It's got a lot of overtones. So let's just slap a moon gel on there. And now let's tune it up a bit. Alright, now we're around a medium tuning. You can tell there's a lot more overtones than the HD Dry. Now we're going to go with a tighter tuning. So for this snare, I prefer to have a piece or two of moon gel on it. Sorry if this stuff's covered in dog hair, just like everything I own. And lastly, we'll try, I'll tighten it up a little more. That actually sounds quite good. It has a little more life than the HD dry at a high tension. I prefer my snares fairly tight. It's just, if you have those venting rings, it really wants to be at a fatter medium tone. So when you're picking your head for your snare, I find this snare naturally has a drier tone because of the thickness of the shell. Going with a vented dual ply head, it's really going to kill a lot of it, and I find it's almost a little too much, so I'm going to keep the G1 on here. Let's try the HD dry on the brass snare, because I find that one I'm always putting a lot of moon gel on it to kill the overtones, as this one I could probably get away with taking one of these pieces off. So you'll notice quite a difference on this brass snare. This HD dry 360 at a low to medium tuning has a lot of overtones right off the get-go. On the reference, I did not have that. Let's try with a piece of moon gel. So yeah, it's quite noticeable that this snare is a better suit for this head. Let's tighten it up a bit. That actually sounds really good. So I'm definitely going to keep the G1 on the reference and this HD dry on the brass. But let's go a little tighter. I even noticed that I didn't need much moon gel on this snare just because this head is so dry. But yeah, let's go a little tighter. All right, I found the tension I want, definitely. It's not even choked at this tension. And let's try with one piece of moon gel just to give it a tone down just a little bit here. At this tension, I do find I lose some sensitivity, especially like with the quieter notes. It needs to really be hit. For playing in a death metal band, this is probably pretty much perfect. Rim shots are ear blazing, but yeah, that's about where I want it. I might take off the moon gel if I want a little more sensitivity. Next up, we have the Evans Level 360 EC2. This is the frosted head, and it has 3 pieces of moon gel on it. Now let's take that moon gel off. And with just one small piece of moon gel. And let's just try out the snares off. Last sound check, Evans, HT dry, tight tuning with 3 moon gel on the Pearl brass free floating snare. Reference high tension with G1 level 360 and 2 pieces of moon gel. That's an easy choice. I didn't have the mic on the other one there, but the reference has way more body, way deeper sounding, and just sounds awesome. I just placed an order for a whole bunch of drum heads, so I'm going to try a few more swaps and see what head works best with which drum. But this is definitely how I'm going to keep it right now.